Hello everybody! I unfortunately spent the final days of 2022 and the entire first week of 2023 sick, which is why I was unable to finish the special video I had originally planned. Said video will now happen at a later date. For now, I will be doing something instead that I'm sure a lot of people would still enjoy, something that would have easily worked as a final video for 2022, as today we're going to be checking out the top 5 endings in Supermassive Games, ranked by me. We all know that the characters are the most important thing, but just as important should be the conclusion at the end of the game, whatever that one is satisfying and feel good, or heartbreaking and horrifying. This ranking will be determined by pure personal enjoyment of said endings, which one makes me feel the most, and whatever that is excitement, hype, fear, shock, or else. So without further ado, let's rank them. Funnily enough, the first 4 ranks are very clear to me, so I had to decide which one I would want to give a bigger spotlight as top 5, and I've decided for this one. Man of Medan is very likely the title with the most variety in choice branches and endings. Horror doesn't always have a happy end, but Man of Medan in particular has many depressing ones. From arrested or shot from the military, stranded on the high sea, to being trapped in the orang Medan forever, our characters, if they survive, can beat such tragic ends after all, hence I especially love this ending. The best ending would see all the characters escape the freighter on the Duke with the distributor cap, yet it's also possible for the letter to break and you remain trapped, unless Conrad escaped on the speedboat early on. Emerging on the horizon with an epic soundtrack underneath, Conrad becomes the hero after all, as he saves all of our protagonists. It feels like such an epic ending, influenced by a choice so early into the game. Again, given how many depressing endings there can be, it feels nice to know that Man of Medan has one that makes you at first think everything is lost, before making you celebrate in relief as your characters get to see another day. Going from happy endings that sees everybody survive escaping a boat, now the exact opposite. The Devil in Me sees several ways for your characters to die early, yet if you make it alive with all of them, you seem to have escaped the killer on a boat. But Dumet ain't finished just yet, and if your controller, keyboard, or whatever decides to die on you and he's allowed to go berserk, then the result is absolutely crazy. Aaron gets brutalized, Charlotte decapitated, Jamie eradicated, Mark's entire throat ripped out, and then Kate's neck broken as he sighs out in satisfaction before presumably dying himself. It's an absolute massacre that had me in disbelief. It's a spectacle that would make for an insane swerve ending. Imagine having watched this movie, seeing everyone survive just for them to ultimately die like this. In my opinion, this boat massacre is a franchise highlight and one of the perfect showcases for Dumet being the best antagonist and villain alongside the Wendigo. Talking about perfect showcase for Dumet being the best villain besides the Wendigo. Besides the boat sequence, there is one other big potential ending, the ultimatum trap with Mark and Kate. If everyone else but these two are dead, then Dumet will try to keep the circle alive by threatening them into playing his game. And honestly, it doesn't matter to me whether they refuse or not. I think both outcomes are incredible in their respective way, and I will include both of them into this ranked place. If Mark and Kate bravely refuse to lure next visitors in, they will die in excruciating ways, especially Kate, who gets killed by getting injected acid. Oh my god! If they do comply, we see Mark play Dumet, and as they think they have escaped, they get killed ultimately nonetheless. The ultimatum, just like the name tells it, equals no survival. It's just the additional torture for the victims, knowing if they lure people into their deaths or not, and whether they die brutally or by a single gunshot. A terrifying and unique ending that, as already mentioned, truly showcases how truly and horrible Dumet is. A sadistic killer that will make other serial killers shiver in fear. You knew that the OG had to be included. Until Dawn, the one that started it all, with an ending that to this day it remains iconic. No matter what happens, the game will see the same finale, the Lodge explosion. It's about how we get there and who makes it out alive, and even though I think Mike sacrificing himself to lit everything ablaze is a very badass cherry on top of his character arc, I go with seeing everyone make it out alive after arguably one of the best sequences, and not just horror, but entire video game history, the final move sequence with Sam. The pure dread, fear and terror that these final scenes provide is insane, and if you manage to remain still and everyone manages to escape the lodge, one could even argue that it looks like Hannah is protecting Sam from the minor Wendigo. The lodge explodes, the Wendigos die, everyone is alive, and it seems like the curse is lifted, before we then get revealed that Josh, who was spared by his sister, remains in the mines, and as he feasts on the corpse of the flamethrower guy, has now turned to the next Wendigo as he attacks the police. To this date, this final sequence is one of the many reasons why Until Dawn is my personal favorite horror game. Pure cinema. Before we get to an ending that I would actually put even above it though, let's also take a look at the general quality of endings in Supermassive games. As mentioned in the beginning, Man of Medan has so many different and especially depressing endings that they are all so damn good. From Thought Survival to Julia dying to decompression sickness, everyone having left as Conrad returns to enter his own demise, everyone remaining stuck to face insanity forever before dying, or as mentioned, getting executed or arrested by the military. Man of Medan offers amazing endings, and so does Little Hope. The twist itself is special, but the variation of what happens next are as well. From Anthony finding peace, to getting arrested, to even wanting to killing himself, to even killing himself by the hands of Mary. I mean, wow. And honestly, even the Corey has good endings. Is the Killing Silas finale a bit lackluster? I guess, but I thought it was fine, and previous endings are really cool, such as Chris staying alive and turning back to seeing the massacre he produced, or even Laura killing Silas with her dying breaths after the car crashed. Supermassive games have had always great endings, but this is, in my opinion, the undisputed #1. Making you believe that you're finally through, House of Ashes lets you experience the biggest stress imaginable in the finale.
Oh? Are we not done yet?
Not again.
Oh my fucking god, we're still not done. Are you fucking serious?
Unless you call air support via the radio, you will have to go through arguably the best QTE sequence in the entire franchise, as with one final stand, your soldiers have to make it through one final onslaught from the vampires during the eclipse. If you keep going long enough, the sun will return, and so will your soldiers. Expect one. Also, depending on air support, Salim may return to safety, but at the hands of the military. If you did decide to not call in any air support in the beginning of the game, then you will experience the most beautiful, happy ending. There are no US soldiers that will take in our hero. Having survived that nightmare he never wanted to be near in the first place, Salim can take the weight off his shoulders as he is allowed to return what he loves the most. He sets off into the sunset on the way to celebrate his son's birthday. A moment that I unfortunately didn't receive in my playthrough, but one that makes me every time I think about it. Out of all the endings at Supermassive games, the one that sees our hero reunite with family is the one that matters and achieves the most for me. Thank you for watching. See you again soon with more videos.
Thank you, Jason. Goodbye, my friend.